This is Sidney Newsom, who's in court for charges of domestic violence in Pike, Mississippi. Unlike most courtroom convicts, Newsom seems to be in a great mood. So great, in fact, that he starts dancing, at least as much as he can while handcuffed. Then Newsom's brother and mother join the party. As the trial continues, the judge asks Newsom to sign some final paperwork, but Newsom isn't ready to let this party come to an end. He grabs more papers and approaches the judge himself. The deputy pushes him away, and that's when Newsom flips a switch. When Newsom goes off on the judge, he kicks him out of the room, but Sidney isn't ready to leave. The courtroom erupts. One deputy is no match for Newsom, and the court clerks make a run for it. When Sidney launches a telephone at him, the judge jumps in and takes his revenge. In seconds, the judge pins Newsom onto the table. Then Sidney's brother jumps in, but he doesn't help his big brother. He holds him down. Finally, deputies come to help the judge. They tear Newsom's brother away and get Sidney into handcuffs. They drag Newsom and his brother away, but the brother is later released without charges. Newsom, however, wasn't so lucky. The judge charged him with contempt of court and put him in jail for 48 hours. Sidney's actions turned the courtroom upside down. But how does that one compare to a defendant who comes to court high on meth and ready for violence? This is Daniel Nicholson, charged with vehicular arson and motorcycle theft in Adelaide, South Australia. In court, Nicholson gets off to a bad start. He prepared for trial that morning by taking a dosage of methamphetamine. Needless to say, things were about to get messy. Nicholas hoped to be let out on bail today, but the judge was about to deliver bad news.
I revoke bail. I revoke bail. No, you can stop.
But no matter how much he begged, the judge would not reconsider.
What's going on, Pat?
Take a seat. Take a seat.
Miss, please, miss.
Please, miss. I'll show you what please, miss is.
Desperate, Nicholson would do anything for freedom, including this. Hearing the commotion, Nicholson's wife and infant rush in, along with all his friends and family. Horrified, Nicholson's family watched the chaos unfold.
Grab the cuffs. Don't do anything silly.
By the time Nicholson got under control, one officer had a broken foot and another a broken jaw. Nicholson was charged with attempt escape and 2 counts of harm to a public officer and was sentenced to 20 months in jail. Daniel's biggest struggle was jumping that wall. But what happens when the defendant has the power of flight? This is Debra Reen, charged with battery in Las Vegas, Nevada. According to reports, Reen got into a fistfight with a police officer on the streets of Las Vegas. In court, Judge Mary Kay Holthus was shocked by Reen's lengthy criminal rap sheet.
Have you looked at your criminal history? Have you looked at your criminal history?
Actually, just I looked at it.
I mean, you lived it, I suppose.
I just looked at it, yeah.
Yeah. Shape that, but I think it's time that you get a taste of something else because I just can't with that history.
Sensing he wouldn't be let off easy this time, Reen did something desperate.
In accordance with the laws of the state of Adelaide.
His body suddenly flew through the air and hit Judge Holthus. He violently attacked her, pulling her hair, punching, biting, and even strangling her until deputies could drag him off. Injured and disoriented, Judge Holthus had difficulty getting to her feet after that attack. Deputies took no chances of another attack. Reen was forced into a spit hood and mittens at all times in the courtroom. Judge Holthus decided to keep presiding over this case, and it was finally time for Reen to learn his sentence.
I want to make it clear that I am not changing or modifying the sentence I was in the process of imposing last week before I was interrupted by defendant actions. I am making my calendar page from that day an exhibit for the court. In accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court does now sentence me 19 to 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections.
Debra got 4 years for his original crime, and he'll face the consequences for his attack at a later date. Judge Holthus went home with a little worse for wear that night, but what happens when a defendant promises to hunt their judge down and kill their family? This is Melissa Hardwick, charged with domestic abuse and terroristic threats in Wayne County, Kentucky. In 2008, Hardwick's husband John asked for a divorce, but that divorce got so messy that he filed a restraining order against her for domestic abuse. In response, Hardwick took her ex-husband to court to fight the order and get custody of her 2 sons. Now in court, Melissa's husband was recounting the abuse when she interrupted.
My personal life is your business.
The judge tried to put her in her place.
Miss Hardwick,
No.
you will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
I don't care.
But things didn't go as planned.
She will be arrested for
It
contempt of
doesn't
court.
make any difference.
You will serve 10 days for contempt of court.
Then things got even worse.
Go now.
Deputies put her in handcuffs, but Hardwick won't go down that easily.
Wait, fish. You. You'll be sad when it happens, Jennifer.
After making that last threat against the judge's life, Hardwick is let out in handcuffs. After that, the judge wanted nothing to do with Hardwick.
A new judge will have to be appointed to represent, but she will be charged criminally for the threats that were made in open court today.
Ultimately, Melissa was given 4 months in jail, 5 years of probation, and mandatory anger management classes. And as for the custody battle, well,
The emergency protective order will remain in place of no contact.
there's nothing like attacking a judge to prove the necessity of a restraining order. Despite her ferocity, Melissa's threats were nothing but words. But how does that compare to a man who brings an axe to the court? This is John Carl OBrien, facing charges for attempted murder and threatening a judge in Grants, New Mexico. On April 8th, 2024, OBrien walks into the 13th Judicial District Court of New Mexico asking to see Judge Amanda Villalobos. However, there was one small problem.
Put the axe down.
OBrien had an axe, and he just threatened to chop Villalobos to pieces.
Step away from it.
According to reports, OBrien had an unrelated case that was being overseen by Judge Villalobos, and he was, quote, upset about the legal system. The guard arrested OBrien before he got any closer to the judge. OBrien's axe-wielding rampage sent the whole court into lockdown. John was charged with threatening a judge and attempted murder, and if he's convicted, he could face up to life in prison. Thankfully, OBrien never got the chance to attack his judge. But what happens when a defendant is determined to attack? This is Bass Webb, charged with 2 counts of attempted murder in Paris, Kentucky. In 2009, Webb's car was seen in the parking lot of a jail headed straight for 2 prison employees, full speed ahead. Webb had just finished a 3-month stay in that same jail for assault charges, but apparently he wanted to go back. In court, Webb's assigned judge turned out to be a close friend of one of the victims.
There's no way I'm going to try this case. And any further proceedings, or I have to see you for one further step.
What Webb did next left her speechless.
Set it over here for next week. Charlie.
Webb spat directly at her, narrowly missing her face. The judge was clearly caught off guard. At first, she ordered him out of the room, but then she changed her mind. She made him watch as she wiped the spit off her face. Then she booted him. Webb was taken back to jail to await trial. But if you thought you'd seen the last of him, think again. While awaiting trial, Webb incited a jailhouse riot with other prisoners. The SWAT team was called in, but Webb refused to surrender, even after getting shot with beanbag bullets and being hit in the face with pepper powder. Webb slings around a telephone box like a shot put, and after that display of violence, the judge was more than happy to put him away for life.
I will accept the jury's recommendation of 5 years on count 1, enhanced to 15 years for pursuant to the persistent felony offender's first degree.
He got 15 years for that riot and an additional 37 years for his original attempted murder charges. Now, Webb was going to prison with or without starting that riot, but what sort of defendant threatens his way into a prison sentence? This is Michael Ray, facing charges of assault and terroristic threats in Louisville, Kentucky. In court, Ray's long criminal rap sheet and the severity of his new charges meant that he might not get out on bond. Nevertheless, Ray was hoping for some leniency, but the prosecution had other ideas.
County's requesting $25,000 full cash behind all charges. Looks like the alley.
You think that's funny?
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, and I think.
All right, so bond is $50,000. No bail credit.
Blinded by rage, Ray didn't realize the judge was actually going easy on him.
He's lucky I didn't hold him in contempt.
And less than a minute later, Ray comes back to give the judge a piece of his mind.
Bring him in. I'm holding him in contempt. Adding charges. Sir, I'm holding you in contempt for what you did.
Give a what you're holding me in.
And so.
Just making it worse, man.
You shut man. You are
All right, you can take him back. 100 days to serve.
100 days to serve? Okay.
Yep.
For what? Because of 2 EPOs and a criminal mission case?
He's done.
But Ray keeps going.
I think we need to.
Yeah.
Can we bring him back?
He's
I want
gotta
to
be charged.
threatening.
Ray went from 2 charges and a $25,000 bond to 10 charges and a $75,000 bond. Now, Ray was verbally aggressive from the beginning, but what happens when the abuse is completely unexpected? This is Sher Lynn, charged with felony battery and violently resisting arrest in Miami, Florida. According to reports, Lynn got into a physical altercation with a woman named Cynthia Cuba. During the fight, Lynn allegedly beat and/or stabbed Cuba with a pair of pliers. Now in court, Judge Grazer issues a restraining order.
I'm ordering that you stay away from Cynthia Cuba. Do not have any contact with her, and you must stay away from her home and place of business. As to the other case,
who is this Cynthia Cuba? Tell me.
I actually try to hit with the pliers. The other case, F14367, long gun count.
Despite the sudden verbal onslaught, Grazer handles it like a pro. Lynn can't seem to get Grazer's attention. Meanwhile, Grazer and another court employee discuss the terms of bond, as if nothing was happening.
$5,000 and count 3 is $1,000.
After setting Lynn's bond at $11,000, Judge Grazer ends things with a classy goodbye.
Have a nice day, ma'am. I'll try and get you into the hospital.
True to her word, Judge Grazer ordered Lynn to undergo a psychiatric evaluation before trial. The results of both the evaluation and the trial have not been released. Lynn went crazy after hearing the name of her nemesis. But how does that compare to a defendant who commits a felony on camera because he's hungry? This is Juan Rodriguez, charged with assault with a deadly weapon and attempted murder in Miami, Florida. Rodriguez was residing at a mental health facility when he accused one of his nurses, Nadine Morris, of theft. And when she denied it, Rodriguez stabbed her. Now in court, Rodriguez had no intention of playing nice.
Didn't give you a heads up.
1 second. He cannot be there when I talk to you. This guy cannot be there when I talk to you.
I thought it was the public defender.
No, I don't need him. Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm gonna kill you. I'm a Jew.
Even the other prisoners know threatening a judge is a felony, but Rodriguez doesn't care.
I'm gonna take your life if you don't let me out of here. Okay? I'm done. Now let's eat breakfast. The is cooking.
Finally, Juan says why he's so aggressive. It's Rosh Hashanah, or Jewish New Year, and every minute in court is another minute that a hungry Rodriguez misses the first holiday meal. Despite the death threat, Judge Beatrice Butchko stayed calm.
Juan Rodriguez is charged with attempted murder, first degree. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender, seeing as that he doesn't appear to be in a condition to respond.
Meanwhile, Rodriguez is forced back to the stand.
What do you want?
Appropriately.
What's your pleasure? What do you want from me?
Without a response, Rodriguez spewed even more death threats.
If you don't let me out of here, I'm gonna kill you.
In response, the judge gave him the worst punishment she could.
Okay. Thank you, corrections. Probable cause, no bond. Appoint the public defender.
No bond. Rodriguez will completely miss the festivities. Juan's empty stomach landed him in hot water. But how does that compare to a man who calls the police station threatening to assassinate a judge? This is Alan McCarty Jr., facing charges for threatening a judge in Daytona Beach, Florida.
I've looked at everything.
And I came here respectfully before you even started acting like a little rich.
In 2017, McCarty called the Volusia County Sheriff's Office with a strange request.
Communications, Warhurst.
Yeah, I want to report a crime that's about to happen.
What do you mean a crime that's about to happen?
Yeah, there's about to be a crime that's going to happen if my kids don't come back to me, you stupid. Because your stupid judges don't want to bring people to courtrooms. I got a gun pointed at your building.
McCarty was involved in a child custody case, which he was apparently about to lose.
Where's your Judge Warren at? You gonna bring that out in handcuffs and I'm gonna execute that right in the street.
Ironically, Judge Warren wasn't involved in McCarty's custody case at all, but McCarty wouldn't listen to reason.
Where are you at?
For people getting custody of their kids? You want to help for people getting custody of their kids? You want to violate American civil rights, you stupid. You want a part of it? Do you hear me, you stupid?
Okay, I'm gonna disconnect the line, sir.
You gonna what? I'm letting you know. I'm gonna shoot this. You gotta give me my kids.
Police officers tracked McCarty's location and arrested him, but cold hard handcuffs didn't give him the reality check he needed. In court, McCarty had even fewer filters.
My daddy owns the building and I look like a idiot, huh? Brought your dress today, you little prick. You wanna take my kids from me and act like that? You and that.
The judge tried to be patient with McCarty.
I have not been sworn in at all. You're a liar.
Thank you very much, sir. That being said, we're ready to go ahead and proceed with.
No, we are not.
But Allen refused to cooperate.
Is that what you're gonna do?
No.
Well, then do it again. Come on. Shut the up. I'm trying to think over here.
Other room. It's done.
Finally, the judge took some action. He forced Allen to watch the trial from a separate room.
Take all my paperwork so I can't show these.
Incredibly, McCarty's yelling can still be heard from the other room.
As opposed to sorry, we gotta do one. I've chosen that one as opposed to duct tape.
You don't do this stuff. Don't you fool me. Get out. I'll get up, you mother. Don't be around.
McCarty's got the lungs of an opera singer. Desperate for silence, the judge threatens an unlikely punishment.
If there's a second time, I'm gonna duct tape.
I'm going to tell you, you just threatened my life. Duct tape. Did everybody just hear that? You just threatened to duct tape.
But it just added more fuel to the fire.
No, I refuse. No, I refuse. I refuse. He threatened to duct tape me. He threatened to duct tape me. I refuse to remove from this room. The judge threatened my life. I am scared. I want to be removed.
If you don't.
I would like to be removed from this room. The judge threatened my life and I want to press charges.
There was no way to win, and after the judge read out McCarty's charges, things somehow got even worse.
No, I'm not standing up. Resisting. I'm not resisting. I'm just not. Stand up. I'm not standing. I don't have to stand.
Again, deputies dragged McCarty out. Literally.
Hey, stupid never threatened that bitch. Bring play back the shit.
Finally, it was sentencing time. This is the moment McCarty learned his fate.
Sentenced him to 15 years in Florida State Prison. As to count 2, when adjudicate him guilty, sentenced him to 5 years to run consecutive to count 1.
That potty mouth earned him 20 years in prison.
Bro, don't touch me. I love you. These are a bunch of here. No, you're not taking my fingerprints. I'm not gonna let you. That's right. Don't touch me and don't never touch my kids. Give me my law paperwork.